This
Uh,
conference will now be recorded.
Yes, yes.
yes, sir. I think so. In my office system, I have observed in cookies session ID.
Hmm, 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 hmm.
Mm. So I was a little bit confused how to configure that session ID.
No, it's the same concept. So,
Okay.
okay, you found the session ID in the cookies, not in the
Cookies.
response. That's what.
In, yeah.
Yeah. So here we found in the response. Correct.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
uh, okay, okay. So here we found in the response, but in our office machine, you got in the cookies, not in the response. That's what you're saying.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, yeah. So in the regular expression extractor, right?
Mm.
Here, uh, yeah. So if you see here, the field to check is there. Okay. So in the field to check, I selected body. By default, it's body because it I found in the response, right? But now, as mentioned, if you have found a cookies, then you have to select response headers. In the response headers,
Okay.
cookies will be there.
Okay.
Okay. So like that, we can select anything wherever you want to find it.
Okay.
You can select that one.
Okay.
Okay. In this case, body. In your case, you can select response headers because extraction is same way. You have to select
Mm.
which from where you have to extend.
Okay.
Hmm.
You're,
Okay. Yeah.
sir, you're recording the sessions. When will you be
Yes.
sharing
Yes.
that them,
So
sir?
actually, this is a go-to meeting. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm a little bit. I mean, the record sessions are in the go-to meeting website only. I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
figure out how to share to you. I mean, YouTube or somewhere. That's why I couldn't figure it
Mm-hmm.
out. Yeah, I will check it and update
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay, no
because this
problem.
is the first time I'm using go-to meeting, so I'm not sure. But generally, right, if you take Zoom or something, now the recording will be into the local system.
Okay.
Okay, so then I copied that local videos to YouTube or somewhere, and I shared the link. But this is I'm not able to find anywhere. It's in go-to meeting server only.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I
Maybe
figure out
you,
somewhere.
you
Mm.
can give you can give the uh, share that recording with any email ID, or it's not possible
Yeah, no, that's
from the
what I need to check
GoToMeeting.
those options.
Okay,
Yeah,
okay,
I'll check those options. Yeah,
okay. Thank you.
yeah. Okay. So here we select the body. Okay. So now what the extractor is doing, this extractor is doing nothing but it will, based on this expression, it will extract some value and it will store in this variable. Okay. So now with this variable, we have to pass where our session is required. So we, at which case we have required in the login was 99, we have to use here, right? So how I'll give session ID? So what is the name I given there? Extractor.
SSID,
Yes, SID.
dollar
Control
SSID.
C. Yeah, because if I give like this now, it is a string only. Right? It's like a string. I mean hard coded value. Correct. But I want to pass value inside this SID. This is a variable, right? So I want to pass value inside this variable. You guys know no variable.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
dollar.
sir. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so it's variable. So in JMeter, to pass any variable, I mean to pass the value inside the variable, you have to use dollar dollar curly braces and inside the curly braces value.
Mhm.
Throughout JMeter, it's common. Whenever you have any variable from CSV file, anywhere, okay, you have to use in this way only. Okay. Yeah. Just a second, guys. Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So anywhere, right, throughout JMeter, when you have any variable, if you want to pass value inside that variable, right, then you have to use dollar. If you use without this thing, na, it will take as it is SID only. Understood, right? So, but it is a variable. So in the variable, you have to case dollar curly braces SID. Okay, let's save the script. Now let's run. Okay, and one more thing. See here we replace only this way, na. But generally, what we'll do, no, wherever it is there, the session ID, wherever it is there, right, we can simply replace this. So how we'll replace? We have a previous value right here. If I'm controlling Z, control Z won't work sometime. Okay. So we have other value, right? We can simply control, I mean, we'll find that place and we'll replace all the values with that value. Okay. Okay. Now let's run the script and see. Okay. First we have to check whether login page may 99. See, see, the value is getting passed here. And what have we given the request? We have given the request only dollar curly brace side. But here, if you see in the runtime, it got updated with the value. So now, if I copy this value and want to test it, now whether my expression is working or not, Control C. So if I check in the response, shall I get it or not? The login is 92. So if I select
Yeah.
response, see, I got the value. It means in the runtime, it picked up the new value using the extractor and passed it to my 99. Okay. So now this issue is resolved. Now let's see whether we are getting our expected page or not. Text, HTML, and if you see login page, login. Okay. Because now that issue got resolved because we are sending a new token every time. Okay. Now let's click on next one. See now if you see we got the welcome test M1 logout. Okay. So now we need to compare, right? Whatever we recorded at that time to check is there any issues or not. So how we'll go? So you'll go to view registry. If you see here, there is nothing data is there because we closed and reopened, na? So everything we lost. So what you have to do? We have recording.xml. By default, it will save in bin.folder. You simply click on browse. Just click on reconcile.xml. Okay. So actually it has everything. So what you have to go login page 99. Let me make a HTML. See, this is okay. And this is we got see. Welcome tester one logout. Now come to our view registry. Login page 100 should be should have this one. Okay, it's clear, right? Now let's go to next page. Product page. 105 product page. We got welcome tester logout and product page. And let's go to our view registry. And here check here. This is nothing but like cross verification whether are we getting proper praise or not. Okay, in the viral sticker, let's go to next one. Add to cart. See, everything is there. Add to carts. And second time, you got the updated and everything is there. Now update quantity one first time and we update with the five. See five here. Okay. See, if you go to this update was 112 here in the page in the request. If you see first time, you will see quantity is one, five is there. So this is a parameter. Because in the real time we want to do 2 times 10 times, I mean 20 times, no, you have to update here. So you have to check the fields as well. Okay, which field is taking care of this one? Okay, that's a quantity. Now checkout page and we got checkout here. Okay, and confirm order. Okay, that's not working, and click on logout. Just click on logout. Okay, it's clear like correlation and how to resolve, I mean how to compare your recording script with replay script.
Clear, sir.
Yeah. So you can do your own recording, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So correlation, there's no doubts, na, till that part only. Whenever you face any issue, the first issue would be, what could be the first issue would be session IDs. Okay. So whenever you have to do session ID, so you have to look the preceding request, wherever you're getting the error, you have to look previous responses and figure out where is session ID. Once you figure out session ID, you have to write regular expression extractor, right? Once you write regular expression extractor, so you will copy value and update it. So this is small application. This is one time only we did it like this, right? But in the real time, we have 20, 30 number of times. So what you will do now? We have this one. Search is there. If you see, right, the top search, and here give search well the value. We have now web load or something is there. Let me go to the notepad. I think we have this value, right, in the that value. Correct. So what we'll do now? Control C. So because everywhere you will get this type of issue. I mean, throughout our application. So dummy application, it got in one time only, but in real time we have everywhere. So simply we'll do with dollar curly braces SSID, so that it automatically takes off all correlations. Again you will replay. If you don't, if you change only one time, now again you will replay. Again you will get some same issue at some other request. Got it now? That's why you have to do like this, so that throughout your script could be a correlated in a single shot. So still you are getting the error, then again we'll debug. But ideal way is you have to replace with all the, you can see na, replace all, you have to do with replace all.
So how did
Okay.
you come here, sir? Search tree?
Yeah. So suppose see, earlier we have what we have this hard coded value,
Yeah,
right? Web load something. Yeah.
yeah.
So copy
Mm,
that value because throughout script
mm.
the value will be there.
Yeah.
So we have search here and we pasted the value, which is our old value.
Which search you're using? Can you actually, my screen actually it was not showing me. Can you please do it, sir? Sorry.
You know, no, I didn't get it.
Uh,
Which one?
no, no. Can you come from where you are coming here? From the search tree? Where did you?
Yeah. So in the top option, we have
Oh,
search
okay,
is there,
okay, okay,
binary symbol.
okay, okay, okay. Binocular
Yeah.
symbol. Okay.
Simply click in it. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, or you can go the search is there. File edit search in
Yeah.
the this
Search.
option
Yeah.
that is also
Yeah.
fine.
Search. Okay.
Okay. So anywhere, just click on it, and if this is your hard coded value which you found in the recording.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, then we'll replace with our correlated
Okay.
value so
Replace
that
all.
throughout script will
Okay.
be, yeah,
Got
work.
it.
Okay. Yeah.
I will
Let,
parameterizing that. Okay.
yes. Okay. So that's the recording and correlation. Now, now let's see. We have all these things. Now we'll understand one by one component JMeter first. Okay.
Hmm.
So then you don't have these templates, or you, whenever see this is a recording application, you did you use templates, but there are some other components, right? You have to add manually as also. So to add manually JMeter, so we need to know what are JMeter components. So then it's very
Yeah.
easy. If I say where is, how we'll see the output results, so you should know, okay, this is a component which help in the result like that. Okay. Now let's see those components.
So, quick question here actually, when we are
Hmm.
recording and we are
Hmm.
capturing some request and response, and then when we
Hmm.
translate that into HTML, we see a page.
Hmm.
So when I replay, uh, if there is some dynamic content in the page,
Hmm.
I mean basically the APIs are correct, but the results may vary, and
Hmm.
then so the data showing on the web page may vary. In that case, when we run the test, when we play the recording again, it will fail, isn't it?
No, it will fail because in a UI
Yeah,
there could be some JavaScript functions which take care
yeah.
of those things. So in JMeter, it is not like that. It won't execute JavaScript functions because it's not like browser. So it won't
Mhm.
display those
I
things. So it
mean,
will display blank page only. Hmm.
my question is if the web page content, even if it is different, even by one character, also it will fail. Is it correct or not?
I mean that's why no. It's why see this is HTML, right? So in HTML, they may have somewhere to configure to call that function to get the data.
Yeah, yeah,
That
yeah.
functions won't be executable. Apart from that, everything will display.
Mm. So that means from the recording versus the when we replay it, result will be different. So it will fail, right?
Yes.
That's what I'm asking. Okay,
No, it won't fail, but the
it
display
won't fail.
won't be correct. Won't be correct. See, you will give
Okay,
200 only. You will get 200 only,
okay.
whereas
Yeah,
the
that's what
response code.
200 I will get.
Ah,
Yeah,
but
I
the
will get the
data will
response.
what you're displaying is different. Yes.
Okay, so
So
in that
because
case, it's
generally,
not a
right?
fail. So
It's
it's
not
not
a
a
fail.
fail
It's not
then.
a fail. No, no.
Okay, geometry
It's
will
only
not
it's not.
take it as a fail. Okay,
No, no, no. So geometry will take
okay.
only failure if the response code is not 200.
Got it, got it.
Suppose,
Yeah, that's what I
yeah.
want to know. Okay.
Mm,
Mhm.
okay, yeah.
So,
Uh,
I mean, last time I was asking you regarding this, maybe if my application has multiple APIs connected in different pages, if I
mm,
record and then if I replay,
mm.
if I'm getting 200, then that means all APIs are working.
I mean, you can say 60%, 70% working because few developers, by default, they will give 200.
Oh,
So,
okay.
so we have to clarify both the things. One is whether
Mm.
response code 200 is getting or not. This response data is expected or not. Because
Yeah,
see,
yeah,
suppose,
yeah.
yeah, if
I
in the
understand.
HTML, right?
Yeah.
So I
Mm.
got something like this. I mean, without dynamic data, but I can see other data properly. Then it's okay.
Yeah,
But I can
yeah,
see here you are not authorized, you are not properly don't have access. Those thing errors, but developer will give
yeah.
200 only. At the time, we
Yeah,
shouldn't
200,
consider.
he will give 200, but he will throw a
The
error
response
message
will be
also.
Mary. Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So in that case, we
Okay.
have to cross verify.
Yeah, got it. Got it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So we have APIs, right? We have recorded. So our main goal is to capture the APIs, whether we go to recording or we go manually also. Correct. So whenever
Mhm.
there is an API, the request, correct? So whenever say API, okay. So all APIs will come into the samplers part in JMeter. Let me write in this way. There is a samplers component in JMeter which helps us to use APIs in the script. It could be REST protocol or SOAP protocol. All protocols it will in the sampler component. So we recorded, we got HTTP request, right? If you check this one, all these are HTTP request because we are using REST API kind. Okay, see all these HTTP requests. So this request will part in the sampler component. So test plan and in JMeter, everything on right click add only. It's not like drag and drop or something will won't come. So right click, try to right click, add sampler. In the sampler, see if you learn this how many are two, 6, 8, 10 components. JMeter is nothing but this 10 components only. Okay, now we'll see this thing. So sampler is a component to help us to write our script.
Okay, all these requests are falling under sampler component. Okay.
Sampler. What type of request now? Protocols now? Everything will come under sampler component. So if I ask you, okay, how will write a request in JMeter means, so what will tell you have to go for sampler and sampler will add whatever the protocol and component will add, then only you'll write the data. Okay, so
Okay.
in our case, if it is REST API or most of the cases now, it's a HTTP request. You just click on this, it will be added like this. And you will write your data. Your get or get, we will discuss more in the request as well, but this is high level. Okay, so sampler components will help us to write our protocol or API.
Mhm.
Okay, so now once you run the script, so the sampler will execute our API. So you need to check the output now. So to check the outputs in JMeter, we have listener component. Listener, you see, right? Listening. So this component help us to showcase our output or generate the graphs, reports, everything. Output of our API or reports, results, all things will come under this listener component. So we have been using video history, right? To show check our results and data. So this component is one of the component is come under from listener thread group, Right click, add, listener, if you see video history. So these all components help us to generate the reports, graphs, everything.
Okay.
Okay. So to any run an API, we'll use samplers. To check output, we'll use listeners. Without listener, you can't check what is going on in your script. Okay, so can we continue with these two things? If I have sample and I have output, so shall I run my script? Shall I proceed? No, right? Because I need some other components as well. If so, for example, by default here, if you see, each component has header manager. Any idea what is a header
Mhm.
manager or
Yeah,
what is
request
headers?
headers.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what is headers?
request headers. So like
Mm.
authentication, etc.
What is purpose of the headers?
Yeah, we have the request body. So
Mm.
we have the request headers as well. So in the request headers, we can pass some what you call authentication information, and then some other things
We
like
can pass this in body also, no? Why you have to pass in headers?
body.
I mean, we can pass the data as a body also, right? So why we have to headers?
Because
I
body
mean,
will have many many rows and all. Header will be fixed, but body can we can add more number of rows and.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, no, it's not like that. So body has only the content. They can't club these things. So these headers are nothing but metadata because so a server is always fixed. Correct. Clients will be different. It could be Chrome, it could be JMeter, it could be the Selenium test, it could be Firefox, it could be mobile app. So how client knows that? How the server will know which type of information? So what happens, right? So while sending first request, we'll ask server, okay, what type of request you need? Whether you need JSON format, you need XML format, HTML format, or you need anything else. So then those information, they will be they call metadata will access the headers only. So what we are sending that will be the request headers, and what JMeter server is giving that will be the response headers. This is only metadata. Okay, to check to both client and server should be in the same page. Suppose if the server is expecting JSON, if I send a HTML, I won't get the response. Okay, so that's the headers. So now here by default from recorder, this component will be added. But if you're writing manually, you should add manually. So these are the header manager. Okay, same as like we have cookie manager also. We have cookies, then we have a cookie manager. If you see here, the cookie manager. Now assume that so this is a load test, right? So here how I'm using this username password. Correct. Suppose if I want to run this time same test with 100 users, I can use same username password for all 100, but not a real time test, right? In the real time, what we have 100 different users are there. So your application or your manager explicitly wants those type of tests, then you have to pass your different username and different password for each test. Correct. So in that case, how we'll pass? We'll use CSV. In the CSV, we'll give username and passwords and we'll load that CSV to script. Got it?
Yeah.
CSV, it's just like Excel, right, sir?
Hmm?
Excel.
Yeah, Excel,
Yeah,
CSV,
yeah,
Excel.
yeah.
Not
Uh,
textual. Anything that will keep username password and will
uh,
use the data.
okay.
Okay. So all these things, this header configuration. Suppose you want to use integrated database. Okay. Or I want to set up some setup before doing execution, right? You have to do some setup. So our configuration. So this all the configurations, this header manage, cookie manage, CSV, they are like kind of configuration. This will be in the config elements. Headers, cookie, CSV. Okay, config element. So thread group, add config element. You will see all these things. The configuration part. Okay. Now Still, we can proceed with that. You have config elements, you have a API, and you have a listener. So can I go ahead and write a script with these things, or shall I need any other components? Hello.
Uh, I think we can write, sir.
Hmm. Okay. Srinivas.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I don't know, sir. Maybe you can create a header, you can create a request,
Hmm.
and then we can capture the result.
Hmm.
I don't know if any other components required, but looks like
This, yeah, this is like 70% is done, but we need other things as well. Because some cases, na, suppose, see, in this case, what is happening, how we are checking whether it's properly working or not. So, uh, how we are checking, we are coming to here in the response data, we are checking manually, right? Is everything working or not? But if you write same script for 100 users, how you will validate for 100 users? You will get 100 requests, right? So we can't
and
validate
request and
manually, no?
response.
Yeah, we
Mm.
can only validate for 5 or 10 or 20. For every time we can't go there, right? So we lose assertions. So assertion will help us to here validate the script. Assertion nothing but validation. So I will write say that if I got welcome, it means my script is success. You have to pick up any keyword, make sure it should be there properly. Suppose if I do search now, the search is in everywhere. So I can't validate with the search, correct? So before login and also after login, search is there. So even though sometimes if correlation failures, the search will give pass only. If you look for search, correct? So we have to pick up unique keywords like see this welcome is there. Na? After correlation passed on, we will get welcome. Before you won't see the welcome here. Or if you see the username like test m1 who is the username, it means the script is properly logged in. So we have to pick up these unique keywords so that your assistant will pass it. Okay,
Okay.
understood, right?
Mm.
Yeah, assertions.
Yeah.
So assertion nothing but we validate our results. Okay, now we have used this regular expression extractor, right, to get the bytes and responses. So this from where we extracted the response, sorry, value we extracted from the response, correct? So whenever we want to do, suppose this time we extracted. Sometimes we want to check some other things, some other data also. So like this we have to do. So in that case we have to use post processor. Post, postpaid, right? What is postpaid? After. In the postpaid, what will happen? After consuming the data, you will pay the bill, right? So in this post processor, what will happen? If you want to do anything in the response, you want to extract some data, something on the response side, that uses a post processor. Example is regular expression extractor. So thread group, right click, add post processor, you will see regular expression extractor. Anything on the response. Once you got a response, it could be response address, response, anything, you have to do something on that side. You got a recommend on the response side, then you have to use post processor. Post means after, right? So after means once a request got sent, you got the response. Then if you have to do anything on the response side, you have to use a post processor. Okay. Same as like suppose I need to do some logic or I need to do some calculation before sending request. Suppose I want to search Google. Okay. So Google search is there, right? Here I want to search different numbers. I want to know how my Google search is behaving. So I can't have I can't give like 2 one time, 4 one time, 6 one time like that, no? I can't have multiple scripts. So what I'll do, I will write a simple function so that I will use some like random number function, something like that, and code so that it will trigger automatically every time it will give a new number. You understood, right? Instead of having 10 data set, I will write a simple function where every time it will give a new different output. So those things na, that has to done before because I need to output. I need to take output of the function to pass to the script, right? So that's where you use a pre-processor. Pre means before, prepaid. So those things. Like whenever you want to do send any logic, you have to do some configuration and you have to do the things, then you have to use a preprocessor. You understood the difference between preprocessor and postprocessor?
Yeah, understood, sir.
Yeah. The postprocessor is after response. Preprocessor is before if you're sending request to server. If you have to do any calculation or any logic, any things, then use a preprocessor. Okay. Now, so these are simple, but in the real time, if you see observe, if I click on run button, what happens? Everything is executed in one by one, right? That's by default JMeter. Do you see any gap between the request to request? No. Once the first request is done, the next request will go. Once next will go procedure. But in the real time, the users may not do like this, correct? Because they will suppose in the product page, no, they will wait some time, or in the payment page, they will think on what type of payment they do, or in the reviews page, no, they will read the reviews. So at that time, there is no server activity, correct? It's like gap, right? So people can't go like a robot, no, they will just click, and they can't proceed further, right? They will take gaps, correct? So to make so why we are doing perform testing to figure out is there any issues in the real time. So if you script like this way, na, you will get the issues only because the application is not designed to handle like this way. At least there's some gap between the script API to API call, so that application can take time to recover or some time to respond, right? But in our case, now we just click everything in a fraction of seconds. See, in a 4 seconds, the script is completed. But the real time, do you think real thing 4 seconds will happen? Or the entering username password will take some time, right? 2 3 seconds. So to initiate that gap in our script, we use the timers. Timers nothing but delay between your requests. Understood, right? Timers. So this will has a gap. So in the real time also, there is a gap between page to page. The page to page gap will come here. It's clear?
Clear, sir.
It's
Yeah.
clear.
Now, yeah. But if I observe one more, so what happened? I log in product art card confirm, right? So in a real time now, this won't be like this. No? It's not simple scenario, right? Some user will hit product like lot of products, multiple products, right? So we have to trigger the product page only some 5 to 7 times, not everything. Or sometimes we have to do some, suppose if a product is available, then only we have to click the cart. But JMeter doesn't know, right? Whatever required script will replay. So what happens if the product is not available? JMeter will hit add to cart and add to cart payment, everything will fail. Because JMeter trying to do that, when a server side won't respond, na? Because product is not available. Correct. So like this, then we have to make a condition. The product is available, then only I need to go next step. Otherwise, I need to skip. Or like these are scenarios no, where you have to control your request or you control the way you want to proceed with the request. So for those things, now we use a logic controllers. Logic controllers. So these controllers will help the flow of, I mean, the execution of the flow. Okay. So if I right click, drag group, add logic controller. See if controller means the condition you can write. Loop means the particular number only it will loop for each n number of times. So once only like random, so the different controls are there. So this will help us to control our request to make the to mimic the real time scenarios. What did I same as timers? So this is a timers which help us to display the data. Okay. So now these are the main comments. Apart from this, we have thread group. Thread group is nothing but our load generator. So we are discuss performance tool. Na? We have to give load, right? So in the thread group, you give the load. See, number of users, ramp up, loop count. I mean, if I give 100 means our script will run with 100 users. If you see, everything will come under this thread group only. If you see, observe the thread group hierarchy, all the requests under thread group, so that load can be applied. Okay. So apart from thread group, we have test fragment. Test fragment is nothing but reusability of the components. Okay, we'll discuss controllers. Apart from that, we have non-test elements. Non-test means like recorder. We use recorder, right? This recorder, strip recorder. So this will come under non-test elements. So if you click on test plan, right click add, you will see non-test elements. This is the recorder. Okay. So these are the main components of JMeter. So if you learn each and out of these components, your JMeter course is done. Because in the real time, right? I mean, 80% or 90% of the scripting only. 20% only just give the numbers, execute. Just give the numbers, execute, and analysis. But to write a script, that's important. Okay, it's clear, right?
Clear, sir. Sir, can you explain me one second difference between HTTP request default and HTTP request header one, sir?
We haven't covered no defaults. We'll cover that way.
Yes.
No,
In the beginning, you said about the samplers, right? In the sampler, you told about the HTTP
header
request
manager.
default or header
No, it's
manager is
header manager, not request default.
yeah. Okay. Can you say once
Yeah,
again, sir?
so
This
header
about
manager is nothing but the configuration of headers. Defaults is nothing but suppose see I have here I have 10 APIs, right? If you observe in all 10 APIs, my server name is common. See, right? This remaining will different, but my server name and the protocol is different, same, right? See, all HTTP only web.mpstore.com. Suppose this is like production environment. Now I want to run the same script in my dev. So what thing will change? Only the URL will change, right? In my dev or my UAT or my test environment. The remaining things will same, na? The data, everything will same. Only URL will change, correct? So now I
yeah.
want the same script in my test or UAT or dev environment. So I need to come here and server name. I need to change everything, right? So I need to give dev URL everywhere. So instead of that, what I will do, I will use request defaults. So this is like common one. So if I use request defaults now, and if I give suppose our like suppose what is the URL we have web.mpstore.com, right? Control C. If I give in the request defaults, so if I remove here, it will work because it will take from request defaults. So only in single place you can change. Suppose if you want to give dev URL, if you give dev URL, all the script will run with dev. If you give test URL, all run with test URL. If you give UAT, it will run with all with UST URL. The only thing is, if you want to use request defaults, suppose you want to request a server name, so here server name should be blank. So then only it will take from the request defaults. Suppose if I run now, it will work. Clear, run. See, it's working because it's taking the data from request defaults.
Okay.
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 Yeah. We'll discuss more. See, we'll discuss one by one of these components so that at that time we'll understand why we are using this component and what is the usage like that.
Okay.
Okay. So clear, right? All these components. Now, now, now in the J method there is order. There is order, right? Without order, it won't work in that way because if listener executed first after the sampler, it can't display the output, right? The listener will always execute after the sampler only. That only display the output. True or not? So in that way, I'll give just 2 minutes of time. You guys have to think and tell me the order of these components. I mean, only till this part. Remove the logic controller. Yeah, I will put a dashes. So based on this component, tell me the order. Okay, just take 2 to 5 minutes of time and tell me what is the order. I mean, which component should execute first based on execution. Okay, you understand the question, right?
Yeah, understood, sir.
Yeah, Srinivas.
Yeah, config elements.
Yeah, no, no, just take time and ping me in the chat.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Oh,
I'll just wait. Yeah, what is the order based on your like Sheila and you? Just ping your in the chart to me. You got it? If you need to take them, just let me know. You guys done?
yeah, I sent actually.
Okay. Config preprocessor sampler timer session post listener. Okay. Two things are wrong. Everything are good. Sheila.
I think post processors and then assertions and then listeners maybe.
Yeah, that's one correction. There's one more. Yeah, that's okay. Config preprocessor timer sampler before
Mm.
session.
And then timers and
Yeah.
samplers maybe. Timers come before and then sampler.
Yeah, correct. How did you figure out that timers will come before samplers?
Yeah, because before sending a request, we want to keep some time. I mean,
Hmm.
kind of a delayed, right? So
Yeah. Yeah. So Sheila, how did you figure it out? Timer will come before sampler?
Yeah, sir. Actually, we think some time to click on the request. So I thought it will take
Mm-mm.
timer.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So the both are correct. Yeah. So that's the order because first thing always config elements because these are the setup configuration. So then they will execute preprocessor. Then they execute timer. Before sample timer will always execute because take a delay. Because once you got the request, then you can go with post first because in the responses you have to do anything right, then you can do assertion. So assertion can't be good before post first because you need some variable or you want to assert the variable also. So that's why post first assertion in the last listener display all the output. Okay, so in jmeter, so these things will execute in that order and then only it will work. But if you are two listeners, right, if you need two listeners or two headers because they're in the same, right, then they will execute in one by one. Whatever is the first, they will execute here. If you see here, this request defaults and cookie manager both are in a config element. So first request default will execute, then cookie manager will execute. Same as like this, we have this all the requests, right? They're all samplers only. So this sampler will execute one by one. First home page, then login page, like this, like this. Okay, it's clear, right?
yeah.
Clear,
Yeah.
sir.
Okay, so we'll stop for the today. All right, and let me stop recording.